religion or
or
cult
make you
something.
queer. Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an expression.
I mean, I'm trying to make everyone queer, of course. That's my job. Hello, my name is Nanoah Struik. I am the ambassador of Poetry International Festival of 2024, and on the 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th of June in Rotterdam, you can be there, and I hope to see you there. My name is Nanoah Struik. I am a podcast maker and I'm a writer and a speaker. My work mostly focuses on gender diversity, queerness, all things taboo. I talk about those things a lot. So my work is very diverse, which is both very fun and also very hard because there's no regular day normally. I worked as an entrepreneur for the last 3 years. Now I'm full-time working for something else, but I have been doing all kinds of things. I love being creative, but having a creative mind, it doesn't really stop. So like I'm always thinking on next projects or next ideas. If you do have to work with a deadline, that is very challenging. But what's also really nice about my projects is that they're mostly very personal. So for example, I made a podcast documentary which is about me being black and queer and how I felt like those things didn't really match up. It was a very personal project. It was really about me and my personal struggles as I was going through them. That is very rewarding in the sense that I get to know myself a little bit more. I get to know my family and people around me, but also very challenging in the way that I have to make space for me as a creative and me as a human being who's processing at the same time, which is very hard. For example, when in those projects someone dies, for example my grandma died, which was part of the project as well, weirdly enough, you have to process and grieve while you're working towards a deadline on the project in which she also dies, you know, so it's crazy. It's teaching me a lot of things, which I really enjoy about my job. I think that's an interesting question, and also I think it's hard for me to answer because I feel like maybe I do not have a good idea of what the cultural scene is, but maybe that's also the answer. There's a lot, but not that much near me or not that much close to me. I think there's a lot of diversity, a lot of amazing creative people who are making beautiful things in all kinds of ways, but also there's no funding, or there's little funding, so all those people are working their asses off to create beautiful things which are very valuable to a cultural scene, as here in the Netherlands. Yeah, the things I see are very white and very heteronormative, cis heteronormative. But I'm sure there's also art and cultural things that are not those things, but they're just not really well marketed, or they're not easily accessible for everyone. I think that's one of the things. You know, queer organizations, queer platforms, but also like more like black or people of color, they have to really fight for it, even though a regular mediocre white man always gets whatever, you know, he wants. And that is very upsetting, and I think that is something that is one of the biggest weaknesses in our cultural scene, the way that non-normative organizations don't really get the acknowledgement and the recognition that they deserve. Inclusivity to me is, first of all, very important. I think it's very important to feel included, to be included, but also it means that there needs to be diversity before there can be inclusivity. For me as a non-binary black person, a non-binary queer black person even, that is important because in a lot of places I am not included. Inclusivity also means making mistakes and correcting those mistakes and being open to making mistakes, because I think, you know, a lot of us are very scared to make mistakes, because I really feel like a lot of people and organizations really want to do good. They have the right intentions, but they are afraid of doing it wrong, so they just don't do it. And I think inclusivity means making mistakes and trying, trial and error, and getting better and asking for help as well, but also pay the people that you ask for help. I think that's also inclusivity, and it's very important because those people are teaching you something, and they are giving you knowledge that is very important for your business, your organization to grow. And to make things inclusive means to make practical changes like, for example, making sure your language is inclusive in all ways, not only gender. Make sure that you are accessible as well, and make sure that you don't just put it like we have wheelchair options, but also make it like we have a room where you can decompress, we have a room where you can chill out for a bit, or there's going to be a lot of light, there's going to be a lot of noise. Just make sure that people are aware of what's going to happen. Put like timetables who are very accurate so that people know what they can expect. Very practical things. Your bathroom is gender neutral. Your staff doesn't approach people with Mr. or Ma'am or whatever. And also your own staff should be more diverse. It is important to feel included, actually included. So no rainbow washing, no pink washing, but really be included, feel welcome, feel part of the conversation. Make sure that you make people part of those conversations.